Just send me the invoice, so I sent it. 14 times, by user Armanimar. A client kept forgetting to pay, so they'd ask me to resend the invoice every week. After the 5th time, I set a reminder to email it daily until they paid. They finally called, yelling, "Why are you spamming me?" I said, "Just following your instructions." Update. So a lot of you are asking what happened next. After I sent the invoice 14 times, the client finally called me, voice absolutely dripping with indignation, and said, "Why are you spamming me?" I calmly replied, "Oh, I thought you needed it resent, just making sure you've got it this time." There was a pause. The kind of pause where you can hear someone's soul leave their body for a second. Then they mumbled something about getting the check sorted and hung up. The best part? They paid that same day. All 14 invoices were marked as read in my email tracker within an hour. Moral of the story: sometimes, the squeaky wheel doesn't just get the grease, it gets paid. How to avoid cleaning a hot attic, by user Amethyst_6. My grandpa told a story from when he was young and in military, mandatory for men in Finland. The group he was in had been recently reprimanded on how they shouldn't do anything they were not ordered to do. Soon after, they were tasked to clear out an attic. It was a hot summer day, so it was like a badly warmed sauna up there. My grandpa was ordered to go take the trash to the dumpsters, so he went and did exactly that to the letter. Instead of coming back, he sat down near the dumpsters. Couple of hours later, the person in command came looking for him and asked why he was there and didn't come back to clean the attic. Grandpa's answer was simple: "I was ordered to take the trash to the dumpster, no one told me to come back." He received no punishment and is still smug about it after almost 70 years. My new favorite customer, by user JayanGalt314. I own and run a residential/light commercial HVAC contracting company. We have a customer, we'll call him Tom, that contacted us for a residential breakdown. Tom told us that he had a home warranty, and we informed him that their repayment policy is often different than our billing rates, and that, regardless of their payment, he would be individually responsible for the full amount of the bill. The repair was a smallish fix for just $228. Bear in mind that home warranty companies are notoriously stingy with payments, if they pay at all. We won't work directly with them for this reason. Sure enough, the home warranty company paid only $153 of the invoice, leaving a balance due of $75. Tom wasn't happy about having to pay this bill, so he began paying us $1 per week automatically by check through his online banking platform. Neither I nor my bookkeeper were exactly excited by this, because it takes the same amount of her time to process a $1 check as it does a $1,000 check, but we decided to take our lumps. Here we are now, exactly 76 weeks later, and Mr. Tom has accidentally paid us $1 too much, so he put a stop payment on the final $1 check. I actually made it a point to look up the stop check payment policy from his bank and saw that he would have had to pay $35 to do this. I honestly have nothing but respect for this amount of spite. 40 Goats, a fun MC story, by user CraftyResident6741. So a few years ago, after marrying my husband, my dad made a joke, in poor taste, that he never got his 40 goats as a dowry for allowing my husband to marry me. We're American and Christian, so dowries are not a thing for my family. Anyways, cue malicious compliance. My husband and I like to play a good prank whenever we can for a good laugh, and we did. Remember, my dad specifically said he wanted 40 goats. He didn't specify what type of goats or if they had to be alive. As such, my husband and I went onto Amazon and ordered 40 tiny toy goats to take with us to my parents' house that fateful Christmas in 2019. And one night, when my parents went to bed, we strategically began placing goats all over the house, on the kitchen table, on top of the thresholds over door frames, on the bar in their basement, on the mantle, on an end table, on top of bookcases, etc. You name a place and there were goats. To this day, there are still goats around the house, and my stepmom pointed out how one fell and hit her in the head this week. MC2, by user Whiskifer. Going to keep this one short. Management, when I was in the Navy at a joint command, decided I needed to go into more detail on one of my regular reports. This is coming from my chief, who said it was coming from the division officer, so apologies in advance. Their words. So I turned what was a 1-page report into a 40-page report. Yes, I did comply with orders. Yes, I did do exactly what I was told. A day later, my chief pulled me into his office and said, by directive from our superiors, I'm to quote read you the Riot Act, and then proceeded to turn a page over on his desk that only had 3 words, the Riot Act, on it. He read it aloud, then gave me a pen to sign the bottom of the form acknowledging my receipt of the riot act. Seems like I wasn't the only one who disliked the order. But, orders are orders. Direction came a little later specifying what details the officer actually wanted. Turns out there was a legitimate reason for ask, and it wasn't just for page length. The officer just failed to communicate the reason is all. Whoops. Edit, why the title MC2? My MC, the chief's MC, equals a very energetic headache for the officer.